try to make people fearful of witches, and they give this impression that they're evil, they want to portray the Muslims in the same way. That Muslims are evil, Muslims are twisted. And in fact, he's actually, this guy, a lot of people are talking about this issue, Nick Griffin, the BNP. Nick Griffin, the BNP. Muslims need to be afraid of him. But if we look at the reality, is this the only guy who ever criticized Islam and Muslims? Yeah? If we actually look at the track record of a lot of people in this country, whether you look at ministers in government, whether you look at the newspapers, whether you look at the radio, whether you look at the television, we find a lot of people who are attacking the deen of Islam. They're attacking the values of Muslims. Why do you treat your women in this way? Why do you believe in this something called Sharia? Why do you want this caliphate? Why are you coming here to change our values in Britain? Our values are too good to be changed. We hear this discussion all the time, and it's not just one man, it's not just one party, it's a lot of people. And it's the same way that they used to give that witch hunt, and they used to give that fear of witches in the past. That people used to be fearful of them. The same way they're spreading this fear, that anyone who hears about Muslim, anyone who hears about the values of Muslims, they would feel fear. They will feel apprehension. I don't want to go near to these people. And this guy, Nick Griffin, he actually made a very clear point for any of us who's got the sense to think. He was actually in a program, or rather he was giving a talk a couple of years ago to some people from his movement. And he was explaining to them, because his party, they used to be known as a racist party. So they used to say, we don't want Asians in this country. We don't want black people in this country. Yeah? So they used to give these talks all the time. Now he shifted, he started to say, we don't mind having Asian people, we don't mind having black people, we've got a problem with Muslims, only Muslims. And the reason he said that this is the case is because, and as he explained to his followers, to his movement, he said at the moment the media is attacking Muslims so much, yeah, and they're making such an issue out of Muslims and such a fearful hatred of Muslims that we've got to take advantage of that climate. We've got to take advantage of that opportunity. So because the media is whipping up this fear of Muslims, we need to capitalize on that. Let's take that as an opportunity to win support by attacking Muslims as well. So if we understand as Muslims, we know that the problem is not just with one guy. It's not just with a movement, but rather it's with a whole campaign to demonize Muslims and to put them in a situation where everyone fears our values. So what should our response be? Is our response going to be that we're going to hide away, that we're going to go undercover? Yeah? So like those witches in the past where they used to be, rather than being out in the open, they went and they hid their values, they hid their culture. Yeah? I'm not saying we should be like witches, yeah? Just get that point clear. Yeah? What we need to do as Muslims is we actually need to explain and be firm in explaining our values. So we need to stand for the deen of Islam and not hide it. So when someone comes like this guy and he wants to attack the values of Islam, the way that Muslims treat women, the way that Muslims live in their families, yeah? Because we have a different role for man and woman. In the Islamic values, we don't treat man and woman the same. Yeah? The reality is in our values that we say that the woman is in a position of honor and esteem. And that for that reason, the woman, she covers. She wears the khimar and jilbab. So we see it as a treatment of honor and a status of honor that the woman is upheld. The values and the position of the woman is upheld. Whether she's a mother, whether she's a sister, whether she's a daughter, she's treated with honor and respect in the Islamic community, in the Islamic values. So rather than saying we're going to change our values, we're going to shift our values, we're going to change our deen, we should be people who speak openly and clearly. These are the values that we as Muslims we hold. Yeah? We're not going to change those values. In fact, what we should say is, let's look at the values you uphold. Let's look at the treatment that you have for women. Because we can see, rather than the woman being upheld as a symbol of honor, she is actually used as a commodity. She's used as something to sell commodities. She's used as something to sell goods. Yeah? So the image of the woman is used whenever you want to sell any product. The image of a woman is used whenever you want to promote any goods. Yeah? By showing that this woman, she's a commodity. And you will be able to access her if you buy this car, or if you have this product, or if you use this spray, or so on and so forth. So we can see that the values of Islam and the values of this society, we don't need to apologize for our values. Rather, we need to explain them. We need to stand firm on our deen. Likewise, they say Islam is barbaric. The punishment system of Islam is barbaric. These Muslims, they want to change this country, and they want to impose Sharia law, and this is a crime, and this is a, and they want to make people fearful that the Muslims are waiting till that night, until that day, and in our masjids, every time we go to pray Isha, they want people to have this impression that the Muslims in the mosque are talking about, okay, 3 weeks time, we're going to take over this area. Yeah? So in your masjid here, around the corner, this is the impression people have, that when you're going for Isha, you think everyone knows you're going to pray. Right now, people think that Muslims are going in their masjids, and we're talking about how we're going to take over this country. Yeah, okay, you're going to go to the police station, you take the police out, you go there, you take out these people, so on. 3 weeks down the line, okay, Sharia is being established in Britain, or at least in King's Cross. Yeah? So this is the image they're trying to give, that the Muslims, they're people to be feared, they want to change our values. They want to impose their barbaric Sharia. When if we look at this reality, look at the reality of this society. A report came out a few weeks ago, where in one of these so-called Sharia courts, and they're not really courts actually, yeah? What they have is some places where Muslims have come together and they establish a place where people can go and have their disputes heard by a learned person, someone who's got knowledge of Islam, yeah? By a scholar. And there are a lot of people, they go there, they take their business disputes, husbands and wives, they take their marital disputes to get advice about what to do. And then when the sheikh or whoever, a scholar, listens to them, he advises them how to settle their disputes. And there was actually a report a few weeks ago where one of these courts, they stated that a lot of non-Muslims have started to come to their courts. Yeah? Why? Because when they've had dealings with Muslims, they found it's more efficient and it actually resolves the issue quicker when they go to get arbitration in a Sharia court than when they go to this Western system. So when they're going through civil court and they're trying to sue and all of this, it takes months, it can take years to get something resolved. They found when they went to these Sharia courts, actually getting someone to listen to their situation, give them advice and solve the problem, they were able to get to the solution quicker. They were able, even when they were dealing with Muslims, they were able to get them to solve the problem quicker. So we find that these non-Muslims, and this is again, it's not a Sharia court, but they were able to turn to the Muslims and turn to the Sharia here in Britain to solve their problems. And why would they do that? Because when we look at the system here in Britain, you find it's not a system that's so good that everyone can be proud and talk about how well it's working. Rather, you can see the system of justice on the verge of collapse. Yeah? How many times have you heard of someone who had this robbed from him? Yeah? Or someone had his house broken into, or someone had his car broken into. Yeah, his stereo was stolen, or his car was stolen altogether. And the only reason people go to report it is just so that they can get a claim for their insurance. Yeah, they don't expect the police are actually going to find the person who committed the crime. They don't expect the police are going to be able to deal with the people who committed the act of violence. They're only reporting it just so they can say, this is where my stereo went, I want my insurance money. Yeah? This is the reality today. Even you'll find many situations, people get attacked, they get beaten up, but they won't go to the police because the police can't do anything to help them. The police will turn around and say, look, we can't help you. Yeah, there was a case I read about the other day where this woman, she was attacked. The police came and said, why are you bothering us with this situation? Yeah, why are you making a complaint? So she's complaining, they're telling her, why are you making a complaint? Maybe you need to just stick up for yourself. So this is the situation, the police got so much to deal with, they're just telling people, sort out yourself. So why is it in this situation, Muslims should start to apologize for their values? Why should we apologize for our deen? Because we can see that the values in the society around us, they're not working. They're not solving the problems. In fact, they're actually making the situation worse. So, like those people in the past, we've got a choice. Are we going to hold on to our deen of Islam? Are we going to stand for the deen of Islam? Or are we going to shift and change our values? So in the past, they changed their values. Yeah? They changed their values in Christianity to take some of this pagan values. And they took these things in. So things like Easter, even Christmas, Halloween, they all got roots from the non-Christian values, what was there before. And likewise, those people who didn't believe in Christianity, they followed it and they adopted it because they were persuaded to give up their values, to give up their beliefs. We as Muslims, we've got a choice. Either we're going to stand for the deen of Islam, or we're going to fall short. We're going to sell our values out. We're going to sell our deen for a cheap price. So the choice that we must make